Hi everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started on today's notes. So today we're talking about creating equations for a function using like patterns, and also finding certain x and y coordinates given only one and the equation. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. When making an equation for a function, we look for patterns, like I said. Okay, so we need to ask ourselves, what must be done to the x value in order to get the y value? You're always doing something to the x in order to get the y. So if we look at this example, we have the x's are -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, so what's happening to this x value to get me to -8? Well, I could be subtracting 6, but that doesn't work for each one. So it's a pattern that has to work for each one. -1 to -1, well, that's doing nothing to it. 0 to 0 is doing nothing to it. 1 to 1 is doing nothing to it. But 2 to 8 and 3 to 27, I have to do something to. Okay? If you look at the y's, this part is going to take you some time. It's just like you're going to have to figure out the pattern. That's the only way to do it. So it's going to take you some time. If you look at the y's, though, 1, 8, and 27, do you notice anything special about them? Those are all perfect cubes. So if I cube the 1, I get 1. If I cube the 2, I get 8. If I cube the 3, I get 27. If I cube -1, I get -1. If I cube -2, I get -8. If I cube 0, I get 0. So it looks like I'm cubing the x in order to get the y, which would be my equation. Okay? Like I said, this one's going to have to take some time. Alright? So try this one on your own. Okay? I'll give you a hint. I would start with the 0. See what's going on there. Okay, try this one on your own. Pause the video. When you come back, I'll have the equation for you. Okay? Alright, so here's the equation you should have gotten. You could have written y or f of x, but you had to multiply the x by 2 and then add 1 to it in order to get the y value. Okay, and that one works for each and every ordered pair. Okay? And then sometimes we have to find a pattern without an equation. So we might be given the table. We need to figure out what's supposed to go in the missing slot. So here we're starting with 0, we go to 3. 1, 2. 2 to 1. 3 to 0. Okay? 4, what do I get? 5 goes to -2. 6 goes to -3. Okay? So I have to figure out what's happening. Well, I'm adding 3 here. I'm adding 1. I'm subtracting 1. I'm subtracting 3. What's happening? Okay? So you kind of have to figure out the pattern. What's going on with the x? Okay? So it looks like I'm adding 3. Maybe? So the missing number would be -1. You can also see the pattern here as we go up. But go ahead and try this one on your own. You got to figure out what's happening here. What's happening to each one? How are you going from 4 to -16? How are you going from 3 to -12? Pause the video and give yourself a minute. Okay? And when you come back, I'll have the answer. So for this one, you should have gotten y equals 4. Or -4. That should be... No, 4. Because you're multiplying each one by -4, right? Each x by -4. Okay. That is it for the first page. Next page. Okay. Oh, the whole thing's gone. Great. There we go. So, function notation. Remember, this whole thing means it's a function. The x part, that's your input value. Okay? While the f of x is going to tell you what the output value is. So when you're determining inputs and outputs, you're plugging in, when you have like f of a number, you're plugging in that number for x. When they tell you that f of x equals a number, you plug that in for y. Okay? So this part's really easy. Examples. Okay, so I have f of -3, and they give me the equation. So that means I'm plugging in -3 for this x squared here. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and square it. Oop, gives me 9 plus 4. So f of -3 equals 13. B, so f of x equals 5. So I'm going to replace the f of x with a 5 for the equation. and solve for the x. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and then that becomes 11 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2. 11 halves is my x. Okay? Sometimes you're going to have to work from what is this called? A graph as well. So f of -5, that means your x value is 5. They're asking what is y when your x value is 5. So here, or -5, here's where my x value is -5. On the line that was drawn, that's the point where x is -5. The y is 1. So, when x is -5, y is 1. Okay? Same thing when they tell me the y value, the f of x equals. I'm just going to where y is 6 and make sure I'm on the line. And I'm just going to tell me what the x value is. Okay? Which is 0. Not too bad, right? So go ahead and try these on your own. When you come back, I'll have the answers for you. Okay. So A, you should have gotten f of 2 equals -16, because all you had to do is plug in 2 for the x. B, you had to plug in 9 for the f of x. You should have gotten 1, x equals 1 there. The graph, you had to find f of 3. So when x is 3, what is the y, which is 2. And f of x equals -4, so when the y is -4, the x is -10. Okay? Alright, that's it for regular algebra. The rest is my honor stuff, so if you want to keep watching, you are more than welcome to. All my honors classes should continue watching, though. Regular algebra, you are done. Thanks. Alright, so here's the honor stuff. Interval notation. So instead of writing set builder notation, this is another option for you. It's interval notation, where we just take the smallest and the biggest number and kind of put a comma in between it, instead of all the inequality stuff. Now we have to use brackets and parentheses for this instead of braces. So we use parentheses around the numbers that we're not including or not equal to. So we aren't equal to the infinity symbol, so we use the parentheses around it. We use brackets around the numbers that we are equal to. So because I'm equal to the -4, I used a bracket there. Okay? First number is always your smallest number. Second number is always your biggest number. Okay? So that's just another option for it. Unfortunately, this is not going to be on your SOL. You're always going to see set builder notation. But if they don't tell you a notation to write it in, you guys can use the interval notation for it. Okay? Alright, so example, here's the other one, where the honors topic is, instead of getting a number, you might have an expression that you have to plug in. Okay? So we're plugging in x minus 1 for this x right here. So I'm still putting in parentheses, so it looks like -3 times that whole thing, x minus 1 plus 12. And then I just go ahead and simplify it. Probably not going to be able to get a whole number, like a single number out of it, but I can simplify the algebraic expression. So I distributed out the -3, and then I'm going to combine my like terms of 3 and 12. And that's as far as I can go. So that's my answer. So go ahead and try this one on your own. It's a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. And when you come back, I'll have an answer for you. Okay? Alright, so this one, you should have gotten 4x minus 2, because you had to put in 2x plus 3 in for this x. So that means you have to distribute the 2, and then subtract 8 from it. When you combine like terms, you get 4x minus 2. Okay? Alright guys, I will see you next class. If you have any questions, please make sure you star them and have them ready for class. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye.